Why, hello, everyone. Welcome to Jolene's Happy Time Craftcast. I am indeed Jolene, and it is so good to be with you on a beautiful Wednesday. I hope you've had an amazing week since I saw you last. I know I sure did. It is beautiful in Minnesota. I hope it's beautiful wherever you are joining me from. And lots of change is happening, not just this season, but here in the fall at Big Raven Farm. It's happy and it's sad, but we have to, shut down some of our buildings because they are not ready for the winter. So like our gift shop really breaks my heart because we work so hard on that. But we have, glues and adhesives and other potions and stuff that they can't stay in there because it's starting to freeze. So the team and I have been undoing all of that hard work. And it's like, oh man, but who wants exploded glue all over their gift shop? So we've been working on that. Our summer cabin is definitely summer. It doesn't have heat. And we've had 2 exploded toilets in the past. So Darren has a whole process on how he has to winterize the summer cabin. So we've been doing all of that while having 12 retreats in a row, and we only have 1, 2, 4 to go. 4 to go. And we actually include Thanksgiving at the end of the month because all of our family comes, and it's kind of like hosting a retreat. I think there'll be 24 of us or so. So we're almost there. We're almost there. This week we are welcoming back a group. This is their 4th time to Big Raven Farm, and we cannot wait to greet them tomorrow. And so that will be 16. And then after that, there is the Satisfy retreat. That's the women's pelvic health retreat, and there's still room in that one if folks are interested. And then after that, we finish out with tarot, yoga, and of course, really great food. And that one did indeed sell out. But our 2026 calendar is up, and people have been snatching up the pink room and the black room. They're getting their favorites. So if you've been thinking about coming to Big Raven Farm in 2026, I'll be sure to link our retreats page so you can go and see all of the exciting things we've got going on. We've got 2 cooking, 5 pick your projects, a beginner book binding, my eco dyeing and cyanotype printing, mixed media art journaling, all kinds of fun stuff. So I'll be sure to let you know through email as well, but if you'd like to come and join us, now is a good time to go see what's going on. All right, enough about all of that. Oh, I forgot to show you my cute little banner. That was called, I think it was called Happy Time Happenings, maybe? Yeah, look at this. That was Happy Time Happenings. Thank you so much to my team. We're doing such a good job and making us so amazing. I really appreciate that. All right. Next thing then, I cannot wait to introduce you to today's guest. We found her on social media and reached out as soon as we saw her work. And I know that you are really going to enjoy getting to know her as well. Joining me today is Miriam Sushman. Miriam has a very interesting story, and I'm going to let her tell you more about it. But let's just know this for context. She was a photojournalist in the US and Israel. Her passion for mosaics began after finding a library book that revealed a world of color and creativity, and I know that speaks to a lot of us as well. From china and beads to stained and tempered glass, Miriam's mosaics celebrate nature and found treasures. She's based in Milwaukee, so she's basically a neighbor of mine. She also loves cooking, gardening, and performing improv comedy. So quite an amazing talent, if we do say. So Miriam, welcome to the Happy Time Craftcast.
Hi.
Hi,
Hi,
thanks so much for
Joleen.
being
So
here.
nice to be
Hello.
here. Hi.
Hello. Okay, so is it okay if I just pepper you with questions right away? Because I
Yeah.
have so many.
Yes. Go
Okay.
right ahead.
Okay, so a photojournalist. Tell us a little bit about what that was like. Are you still doing it? And do you find it connects to you in your creative life?
Well, I was a graphic designer.
Okay.
I really love photography. When I was in art school, I spent lots of time in the dark room, and I
Mm-hmm.
love photography. But I thought, well, let me study something practical. There wasn't photojournalism. There was, I guess, art photography then in my
Okay.
school. I went
Yeah.
to an art school. It was called Philadelphia College of Art. It's now
Yeah.
called University of the Arts. It merged with a music school in Philadelphia.
Okay.
So and then I had the misguided notion that I had to be a writer to be a photojournalist. I said, well, I don't
Okay.
want to be a writer. But so I worked as a graphic designer in New York City, and
Yep.
then I started to take photography classes. Then I started to work for a small daily newspaper, and that's sort of how I got my training. Then I started to freelance for newspapers in Connecticut. Eventually, I found a position at a small newspaper in Connecticut.
Okay.
So worked there for 2 years. Some of it was fun, some of it was a little bit dull, like ribbon cuttings.
Sure.
They high school sports, like it wasn't really
Oh,
Memorial
right,
Day.
right. Yeah.
You really have to do everything.
Yeah.
And then I spent some time in New Jersey freelancing, and then
Mhm.
I worked as a photographer in State College, Pennsylvania.
Yep.
And then I went to graduate school because I felt I needed more
Mhm.
training as a photographer, and I really loved that. It was mostly women, and we
Right.
worked on photo essays and mostly black and white.
How
Yeah.
awesome.
So, that was a really great experience. I got an
Right.
MA in photo communication from Ohio University.
Okay. So when people say, or when they ask you and they're like, "Hey, Miriam, what are you making?" Do you have, like, now as an artist, do you have a favorite project, a favorite medium, a favorite technique? Like, for you as an artist, like, what lights you up?
I love working with stained glass, but then I
Okay.
also will take a break from that and try
Yeah.
other things,
Oh,
like
sure. You're in the right group for that. Yes, yes.
right, right, and sometimes I think, "Well, maybe I should just focus on one thing," but then I see someone doing something, I say, "I
Oh,
have to learn this, I
same.
have to," and then
Mhm.
I learn it, then I go back to the stained glass, which I guess I feel is my comfort zone, but I
Sure.
also it's an area where I really wanna grow. um, I wanna learn how to do more with shading. I wanna teach
Right.
myself how to do a landscape. That's something I haven't done before. I do
Right.
mostly natural forms like flowers. I've done some animals.
Yeah.
Um, but right now what I'm doing is I'm exploring, pictures from old golden books and
Nice.
Life magazines that my parents
Mhm.
they were a bit of hoarders. Let me just
Yeah.
put it this way, we had a garage, there was never a car in that garage.
Sure.
Um, just stacks of magazines and whatever
Mhm.
ever else, they had a hard time throwing things away, and so I
Old
would
paper,
find
Miriam, you're speaking my language. That gets me excited.
so the thing
Can
I
I
think
come over?
they well, I was responsible for cleaning out their attic,
Yeah.
when my mom left that house in New Jersey after
Yeah.
44 years, so the
Wow.
newspaper was there from the day JFK was assassinated. So I'm
Wow.
looking through these books now, and I did
Yeah.
a test board to say, "Well, is this gonna work in a mosaic? How is the adhesive?" And, oh,
Mhm.
one thing I just learned that I got so excited about,
Yeah.
just did a quick Google search. How do you use old magazines in a collage? Because 'Cause I'm also fascinated with the art of collage.
Yes.
So the woman
Same.
said, the artist said, "A Yoo-hoo glue stick." I
Yeah.
thought, "Wow, a glue stick, like a very simple tool
Mhm.
that I would think, kids use in school." Like, I never thought, "Oh, a glue stick in art." They said it's acid free. So
Right.
I
Of
went out and
course.
I got one, and it works beautifully because, as you know, old magazines or any magazines, that paper is very thin. You
Oh, it's
can't
very
apply
thin. Yeah.
a wet glue to it. Works great. I did a test board. I
Mhm.
cut clear glass. I put that on top and I grouted it, and it's
Oh.
fine. I can show the test
Nice.
board.
Okay, so all
What
right, so what you're saying is that you are using the imagery of the magazines and then clear glass on top to protect that element because obviously it can't get wet, you can't put grout on it. Because I face these challenges all the time because I use bookboard in my mosaics, and I'm always looking for a way to grout something that isn't groutable. So I love this idea. So you have an example to show us? Oh my gosh. Okay, then that's amazing. So what she's holding up is like it's a collage of old images and it's got glass on top and it's exquisite. That's amazing. I love that.
It's not supposed to be like, it's just a test board.
Yeah, of
But
course.
yeah,
Absolutely.
but
So are you
but
going to
to
use the golden books for that too?
well, I already started actually for the golden book. I have the pieces cut out. Oh, there are
Yeah.
golden books here. What? Okay, so these two,
Yep.
this and this is from a golden book.
Oh,
So it was
awesome.
all put down with the glue stick,
Yep.
and then clear glass, and then on top of it, I use a glue. Well, we used to call this in the Mosaic world MAC glue,
Okay.
MAC. Their
Okay.
website is still up for some bizarre reason. I mean, I don't know why the website's still up because
Yeah.
for the last, I don't know how many years, this is not available.
Right.
And so, but anyway, so there was a woman and a glass, a mosaic. She does a lot of what's called glass on glass. So
Yeah.
think of
Yeah.
stained glass, but with grout instead of leading.
Mm-hmm.
So it's marvelous mosaic fine art. Her name is Corey Dollar. I just ordered it and it came from Oregon to Milwaukee, like really fast.
We will be sure to link that in the show
Okay.
notes
Now,
because
the thing about this is it's pricey. A little
sure.
goes a long way. The reason I started to use it because I wanted to do a glass on glass mosaic, and I've done
Yeah.
a few of them. And the nice thing about it is it dries quickly and
Yep.
it's crystal clear, unlike
That's
silicone, and it doesn't have fumes.
nice. That's important. So important.
Yeah, and another thing I want to address, sometimes on these mosaic sites, and there's a lot of them, people will say something like, "Oh, use E600."
Oh,
And
E6000. I hate that stuff.
yeah, it's toxic.
Mhm. Yeah,
You have
I
to
hate
be
it.
really careful. Or say you're
Mhm.
mixing grout.
Mhm.
You need to wear a dust mask. If you're going to be
Oh,
doing a lot of it, invest
definitely.
in a good um, 3M dust mask. It has these pink things here. And every
Yeah.
time I work with grout, I put it on because that stuff is, I think it's silica. You don't want that getting in your lungs.
Oh, definitely not. I think too that like I'm pretty pro hot glue when I am. So I mosaic brooches, old jewelry, primarily book board. I recently just did a project with old records. And
I, I want to
yeah,
see that. Where can I see that?
it's in my hand. So this is a project that I've been working on for my craft club. And so my craft club, it's a monthly subscription and I create all the pieces and then we do it together. But her hair
Oh,
is
is
made out of the album covers. And
oh,
she's an image from a 1952 it was a magazine, and actually, she's holding a pack of cigarettes, and I took those out. But anyway, 1952, kind of like a life, one of those.
right.
And then at the bottom, I cut a piece of record, so that's the whole thing together. Now, like you, I needed something to kind of protect my album covered pieces, and so I did a couple layers of Mod Podge, and then I did a clear gloss, kind of like an acrylic.
Hmm.
So I think she'll stand the test of time. But I kind of
Good.
think she's fabulous. And the mosaican, it becomes like my favorite part. Like I love it. Don't you? I love it.
And it looked very intricate too.
Yeah, lots of pieces,
Yeah.
but now I work on a laser, so I cut all of them on a laser, and then the trick with a laser for me is, you get 100 pieces out, and then you have to keep them in such a way that you can put them all back together again. So it definitely has some challenges, but really, really, really fun. Now, in preparation for your arrival today, we did ask our community if they had some questions for
Oh,
you, and
cool.
they did not disappoint. So
Oh,
let me pull those up for you, Miriam, because there's a
okay.
couple that I'm curious about too. Have you ever had a weird or unexpected object that you've used in a mosaic?
I feel like
Fair
saying an
question.
old shoe, but I haven't. Okay, so I had this a spoon, an
Oh,
antique
nice.
spoon, and I put it in, and it's kind of like a landscape. And it was just one of my first projects. It was
Sure.
a direct set into thin set. Um,
Oh, wow.
yeah, so I guess that would be the weirdest thing that I can think of. I mean,
Yeah,
maybe afterwards I'll think of more.
right, of course. Well, thank you to Carla for such a great question.
That is a good
Um,
question.
for me, I so when I was maybe I must have been 7 years old, and my parents took me to a Johnny Cash concert.
My husband
And
loves Johnny Cash.
yeah, so did I, but I was 7, and we were, like, sitting up, in the bleachers, and I remember the whole shtick, like, I remember him with his back to us, he turned around, he's like, "Hello, I'm Johnny Cash," and then the man in front of me turned around and he said, he said that to you, he's talking to you," and I was like,
Oh,
"Oh, of course he was," and I was so excited.
oh,
And as a souvenir of that concert when I was 7, my mom and dad bought me a little Johnny Cash charm for my
uh-huh.
charm bracelet. And I
Oh,
put that in a mosaic that is hanging in the bathroom here in my yoga studio. And it's not weird, but it's precious and I love it. I love it so much and can't believe that I was able to keep it for 49 years and and then eventually use it in something. But I think that like in my mosaicing, I love that part. Like I love the little tiny stories that you can put into your art.
yeah. I also have a collection from my childhood. I mean,
Oh, nice.
I have this silver bookmark. It's beautiful. It's embossed with these flowers. It's shaped like this. And I
Yeah.
just found it when I was 6 or 7. I lived in Baltimore. And what is this thing on the sidewalk? I picked it up and I have it to this day. And I have one of those old type trays.
Yes, a
And it's
letterpress box,
filled.
yes.
Another cool thing is I was thinking now that we're talking
Yeah.
about unusual things, I have a big match collection. You ever looked at
Oh,
these vintage match covers?
yes,
Some of them are
matchbooks.
so funny, they'll advertise a hotel, "Oh, free air conditioning, color
Right.
TV, in-service, t telephones."
I
I mean, the
love
kind of
it.
thing, and some of them have
Yeah,
this imagery, mid-century modern buildings, and
I love
I have
it.
one of this man with a crew cut. It says, I found it in the trash on my street. It says, "What's the score for 54?" With some guy running for an office, and
Right.
that I have in that collection. I have so many of these matches.
Yeah.
We get them from, eBay. Okay,
Yeah.
once we got some and we get them for the matches to use.
Right.
Somebody will die and someone has a huge collection of matches, so
Yes.
they just sell them. But then we
Yeah.
got a whole bunch where there were no matches inside. And I said,
Right.
"What it?" But then I said, "Well, I'll save them. The covers are cool."
Well,
So
of
now
course
that I'm
you
talk
will, because you're
right,
an
now
artist.
I'm talking to you, and I was thinking, maybe can I do that in a collage? I'm not sure if I can put glass. But one thing I wanted to say about this board is
Oh,
what I learned is this is why is it
yep.
not? Okay, so this
No,
is
we got it.
water. Okay, so that's a watercolor paper and an old painting of mine. So I
Love
learned
it.
from this, okay, if I have a heavy texture paper, I need to
Mhm.
use more. This
Mhm.
is just doodles with color pencil, pencil fine, oil pastel, not so great. It starts to run.
Right.
Paint and the pictures on top of it, no problem. Um, what did I do here? I think I stacked something, not a
I
good idea.
I
So
love the idea of a test board for lots of things. I mean, it's kind of like a art journaling in a way, like it's a really great practice space to test out the idea and the reactiveness with your adhesive, which I think is a great idea for all of us.
right. Well, especially if I'm working with these papers
Mhm.
that I'm not sure, but I was really pleased. The only thing I didn't like was I have a collection, I had a huge collection of, I was into when I was in art school, color Xeroxing, putting flowers on a Xerox and feathers.
Oh,
That I didn't like how the glue, I don't
but
know,
you kept some of those.
like lots of bubbles.
Oh, it's kind of cool though.
I don't really, I
Too
like those
messy.
bubbles, but I can show you, this is in progress. These are,
Oh, I love that.
so those are pictures from a book, a 1912 book that was owned by my husband's grandfather about
Yeah.
opera, the Victor Book of Opera. It has a beautiful cover, and it has
Yes.
70 operas. And then these people are wearing these crazy headdresses. And as I'm going through the book, I'm just laughing. And I've never really laughed so much when I'm working on a project.
Right.
And then I said, well, how am I going to combine it? What else am I going to use? And then I said to my husband, I'm not really sure what to do next. And
Right.
sometimes I find when I get stuck, if I just talk to someone, and I
Yeah.
love the kind of the brainstorming that goes, he says, well, have you thought of maybe combining with something modern? I said, when I
Right.
look in the Life magazines. So then I
Right.
cut these out and they just sort of, and it worked. This is from the book. And now my next step, I've already put, these are called vitreous glass tiles, which I
Yes.
really like as edge. You could also, if you're a beginning mosaic artist, use those. And then I'll need to cut clear glass and put it on top. Now, the thing
Well,
with cutting clear glass is I don't want to make picture of pieces that are too big because it'll have excess air bubbles.
right. What I think, like, folks listening, I think the takeaway, friends, is that, your collage, your mosaic, it can definitely be under glass or it can be traditional, glass form mosaic. Or you can also take some of these same ideas and put them in your art journal as we practice, right? So Miriam calls it a practice board. Some of us might call it practice in our art journal, where
Huh.
we're not planning for the gallery, right? Like we're just exploring and creating and playing with our tools and resources. And Miriam, you actually just reminded me, I actually think that I have a book on opera that is sitting over. I do. It's sitting over
Maybe it's
on
the
my
same one.
yeah, it's sitting on my shelf and I've been kind of holding on to it as, in our world, we call that image harvesting. Like we're going in
Ah,
search of images that will work in a project or an art journal. But my takeaway from what you just shared is I really liked the images mixed with those bolder colors. And I think that that's a great playful exercise for any kind of collage or mosaic.
mm-hmm.
So thank you for showing that to us. I do have another question for you. This one
Right.
came from Dinah. Um, this is great, Dinah. Thank you. If your mosaics could talk, what do you think they would say about finding beauty in broken pieces? Wow, that's
Oh,
deep.
uh, man, that's like a deep
Yeah.
question. Well, sometimes things don't work out in a
Yeah.
mosaic, and you expect something to happen,
Hmm.
and it doesn't work out, but then something else
Same.
happens, and it's like, oh, no, this is
Hmm.
great. I'm kind of glad that thing didn't
Well,
happen, or I learned something from this, and if it didn't happen, I wouldn't have learned for the
exactly.
next time. So, and
Exactly.
that's the only way with mosaics or any art is, to make those mistakes,
Hmm.
and then so the next time, I don't know if
Right.
that
Well,
answered
no,
it.
I think that's great. And I think it also I mean, okay, so let's take that metaphor a little step deeper. And it could be that, in mosaics, I use a lot of broken jewelry and like the pieces are broken. And, sometimes along the way, and this is what's on my work table. This is what I can't stop obsessing over. So I have this idea to build a Christmas tree or just an evergreen tree, really, that cone shape tree. And I want to build it out of broken jewelry.
Mm,
And it's really hard to find a form, right? An armature, if you will, on how I'm going to apply these heavy pieces. It can't be cardboard because that won't hold it up. It can't be tag board. That won't work. It can't be chicken wire. That won't work. So, what I think I'm going to do is I've ordered a traffic cone off of
ah,
Amazon.
you can order traffic cones?
I've ordered a 36-inch traffic cone, and I am going to fill my traffic cone with spray foam. I'll wear a mask, I'll do it outside, and then I'm going to get the traffic cone off so that I have a spray foam cone that I can cover and it will support the weight of my beads and jewelry. Now, untested, I don't know if it's going to work, but I've been obsessed in thinking about what can I build that will support the weight of these pieces. So Happy Time community, more to come on that, but I think it's going to work because I've seen artists take like styrofoam insulation and make a pie, and they just have graduated smaller sizes, and they go from the biggest round up to the smallest round, but they have to cut and shave like every layer. I'm thinking, Miriam, I'm going to cut through all that noise, spray the foam in the traffic cone, and just hopefully release the traffic cone.
Cool. I look forward to seeing that. Another, as you're speaking, I'm thinking of another material that's
Yeah.
called, but I haven't used it. I've just heard about it. It's called
Yeah.
paltia, and it's for people who want to make sculptures, but they don't want to. I don't know. I don't
Build the
know
form. Yeah. Yeah.
why. I don't know if you need an armature for that.
Yeah.
I think you don't, and it's supposed to be relatively easy. And so maybe just look up that paltia.
I
Um,
will. I totally will. Because I mean, are you like this in your artist life? Like I get an idea, and then I can't, I gotta solve it. I gotta solve the problem before I can move on. And funny thing, when I was on Amazon, and if you just type in, cone or cardboard cone, you get all kinds of little crafty, little 4-inch ones or 6-inch
right.
ones. But the other thing that it brought up, it was this horrifying device called a chicken cone. And I was like, okay,
Oh.
right, you know what that is. I'm like,
Well,
I don't need that in my algorithm. So I
wait,
like,
no, I don't know what that is. Is that to take the head off?
yeah, yeah. And they even had like, pictures of like how you use it. And, we have chickens here on our farm, but they're
Mhm.
family. Like we like the idea of this brutal device for a crafty project. I just swiped
Hmm.
away as quickly as I could because it was like, and I mean, I know I'm probably anthropomorphizing and making chickens into people. I know, but that's what I'm going to do because they're my family.
Yeah,
But anyway, more to come on if I'm able to solve that. All right, one more for you, Miriam, here. And this one came
good.
from Lori or Emily. How do you know when a
Oh,
piece is done?
well,
Um,
if I'm working on a stained glass mosaic, say
yeah,
I'm doing a scene, a plant, a backsplash, when I
yeah.
put that last piece down, and that's a really good feeling. It's a good question though, because if I'm well, I don't have it right here. It's a gift, and it's also with jewelry, and it's with
Mhm.
handmade ceramic tiles. So it's go, oh yeah, I can use this. It's
Yeah.
all kinds of things, beads, a little chicken bead, all kinds of things. It's not going to use. I'm not going to use traditional grout. So at some point, I'm saying, oh, maybe I should have like filled these spaces in with these little purple beads.
Oh,
And
right.
but then
Put
I
it
had
in
to
those little
stop. I
nooks
had to
and
stop
crannies.
myself to say, enough.
Right.
You're not
Yep.
gonna put in every square inch. Like, well, maybe I could have, and also use something called millefiori, which are these, I guess they're long glass
Yes.
rods that are then cut, and then in
Yep.
the center of each one is a little design, like a flower. I
Yep.
don't. I
Love
have a
those.
lot of stuff here to the left, but those I have on the wall and these
Yeah.
shoe pockets. But what I'm saying is that's what it was mostly. But then I was doing so. Oh, well, maybe I could have had them a little closer. It's like, no, just
Right.
stop, because I just zone in, and yeah. So that is a Wendy. Yeah, when that kind of mosaic, you have to
Yeah,
stop it.
you just have to call it, right? You just have to,
Direct.
because you can overwork them. So, Miriam, where can folks find you? Where can we see your work, buy your work, engage with your work? Like, where is the best place for people to go?
You can if you go to Mosaic Merm on Instagram,
Yeah,
and then there are links to my website
yeah.
and my Etsy shop, and then I'm on Facebook, Mosaic Merm. So all those
Oh,
places,
awesome.
please.
We will be sure
Yeah.
to link all
Okay.
of that
Okay. Thanks.
in our notes and so that folks can find you.
Mhm.
I'd like to just kind of switch gears here.
Good.
And I always, or it's a kind of a new segment, but we are trying to do a little book review on each one of our episodes. And today, the book that I'm going to be reviewing is called
Ooh,
Collage du Jour. and it is by Lucy Duclos, Duclos. And this is a great book, friends. This in like the Joleen scale is like 10 out of 10. And the thing that I love about Lucy's book is Lucy says, okay, take 2 pieces of paper, right, and cut them into 4. And then she says, from the 4, cut them into 4 more, and then make some arches and make some other like doors. And from there, then you could make a city. So her ideas are simple collage techniques. And
Oh.
I went ahead and I tried a few of them, building a cute little city. And again, this is good brain food. Like, we're not necessarily like planning for the gallery. We're not necessarily, trying to do something that's going to go on the wall. It's just a really good practice of what kind of collage artist do you want to be. She also says,
Oh.
okay, she has this other cute idea where she's like, okay, what if you did like a cute little book nook? And you just cut out a whole bunch of rectangles and you made yourself a cute little bookshelf, and then you put a potted plant on it. So okay, so I tried that. Love that idea. She also suggests working with negative space. So when you
Mhm.
cut out pieces, you cut out an arch, well, let's use the arch somewhere else, or using lots of different pattern papers. The other thing that I love about Lucy's book is we're talking about like kind of micro collages in a lot of ways. They're not necessarily prompts or ideas that are going to take you 15 hours like some of the projects I do. Or she'll say, with paper, let's make a little city. And
Yeah.
you're ripping and you're tearing and you're just playing around with the negative space. And they're really great ideas. And like I said, I've practiced a lot of them in an attempt to get ready for today. But then, of course, okay, so we take Lucy's book and we do a few of the exercises. But then now, what if you take those ideas and you apply it to your own design? So one of Lucy's ideas is cut out a bunch of circles out of contrasting papers and then glue them into your book and just see what you get. So I tried that, but instead of using circles, I used little, like the door shape.
Mhm.
Like, I guess that's like a drawbridge door. And I loved it. I used a glue stick and a bunch of pieces that I cut. And I tell you, my brain was really happy. I also tried it with rainbows.
Ooh.
I
Ooh.
know, right? She's got so many good ideas.
What
And
kind
then
of paper what was the rainbow? Was that something you had painted or?
yeah, I just smeared a bunch of paint onto a paper and then I cut a bunch of curves. And then it's kind of like you have to use every other one, so you get that step down effect. You can't
Right.
use all of them, but what you can do is you can make a couple of rainbows. So I cut out the rainbows and like this one, and then you just alternate back and forth so you can use all of the pieces. Again, good brain food. And then she's got this idea of cutting out leaves. She says, just cut out a bunch of leaves and, kind of see what you get, see what you want to do with it. This was Lucy's take. Lucy's
Oh.
take was just a bunch of leaves out of paper. And so I had some paper that I had painted. My favorite color profile right now is I'm really in a dark blue, brown, a little bit of gold phase.
Mhm.
And so I did the same.
That's
These are
lovely.
just painted papers, and I cut them into leaves and wish, whoosh, I've got a cute little, idea for my art journal. So collage du jour, techniques, tutorials, and inspiration for paper lovers. I think it was like $16. And I have loved going through and actually doing the exercises and practicing because, like I said, you take her idea and then your brain is like, oh, okay, that was pretty cool. What would I do in my own interpretation of that? Right?
Yeah. I
So
love it.
highly, 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 highly recommend. And as far as like, the papers that you use, the next one that I'm going to make is I have this little scrap of paper because I have a problem and can't throw any paper away. This is one of my kids, it's an art project. One of my kids did at some point, and I kept the paper and have been cutting it down, slowly and slowly. I think it was a big piece of tag board. And so Jackson, I appreciate that you made this, because I'm going to use this one. So this kind of splotted alcohol ink looking thing,
Mm.
with this to make one of those cute little cities. So the idea too of incorporating and using your scraps, because if you're like me, I have a problem. I mean, I feel like I should come up with a template, like anything smaller than a postage stamp, I shouldn't be allowed to keep. Because I just have way too many pieces and it's really hard to organize. So, but anyway, I will be sure to link it in the show notes. Lucy, if you're listening, we'd love to have you on the Happy Time Craftcast to talk more about this. It's amazing. Love, love, love.
But
Okay.
by the way, Jolene, there are artists who do mosaics using postage stamps.
Oh, yeah. I've
Yeah.
not seen that. I must.
May I share one of my leaves since you were
Yes.
showing leaves? Okay. So this is a leaf. I cut it from one piece of glass and
Oh,
I cut it with
Miriam.
this tool.
Yeah.
It's a glass cutter.
Yep.
I
Yep.
got it. Well, I got it from my glass store.
Yeah.
This is how I learned how to cut glass. Now, another way of, well, people were talking about working directly. A nice way to work in mosaics is the indirect technique, where I
Okay.
do everything on a frosted sticky paper, and it comes in these rolls that I get at a hardware store. It says Frosty.
Oh, okay.
And then I put that down as the size of my mosaic, and I have a drawing underneath of it that I've
Okay.
drawn in pencil. And that's what I guess I would call my template. And then
Right.
I make my mosaic on that. And then when I'm all done, and this is all, here's the back of the sticky, I'll
Yep.
put sticky on the
I
front.
can kind of hear it clicking against your ring. I love that. Yeah.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
awesome.
It's a lot of fun
Oh.
to cut this. I love doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, then I cut it, but I snap it out with this. It's called a
Yep.
running pliers.
Yep. So it's
Okay.
kind of, are you scoring and snapping?
Right. I score it with
Mm-hmm.
this glass cutter. It's
Yep.
flat, of course, a lot of concentration, always at a, what angle
Mm-hmm.
is this? 45 degrees?
About, yeah.
Right. You can't like tilt it. You can't
Right.
apply very even pressure. You don't want to pick it up at any point. It has to be continuous
Mm-hmm.
around through the center line, just one line, and then each segment of the leaf. And then I snap it out. Like for this one, I snapped it through the center and then for each one. Now, when
Mm-hmm.
you first start out, sometimes things are not going to break and maybe that will break, but I'm
Right.
at the point where it almost always works for me. Not every
Oh,
glass,
that's such a beautiful color too. It's like
chartreuse.
chartreuse. Yeah.
It's vibrant.
It's
Yeah.
beautiful. I
Yeah.
think that, you were saying how sometimes you see an art practice or something crafty and creative, and you're like, I need to try that. I feel that way when I look at stained glass sheets. They are so beautiful, and I'm always so tempted, because they're just lovely. Like I love all of the colors, and I've made a few things in the past. I used to do stars,
Uh-huh.
and I would just take wonky triangles and, never precise. And then just I would solder them to a circle. And they were not trustworthy. They kind of had to lean against a wall. But I tried. I dabbled.
So you've worked a little bit with stain.
A little
You've tried.
tiny,
Yeah.
tiny,
Yeah.
tiny, just enough to make those stars. And so are you soldering your pieces as well, or do you grout?
No, I've never worked with solder. I respect stained glass. We have some antique stained glass windows that we
Mm-hmm.
inherited, and I love them. They're beautiful.
Yeah.
That's glass. It's just never made anymore. But I've never had the desire to
Yeah.
enter into that. I like the mosaic process, and I do
Mhm.
grout it. And another thing that I'd
I
like
think
to
grout would be
show.
safer for me because I'm so accident prone that if
Which
I
is,
were to bring that practice back, I think grout is the answer for me.
so another thing that I do is I make my own substrates, which is the Mosaic surface.
Yeah.
It's made from this mesh that comes
Yeah.
in rolls. It's called AR mesh, which means
Okay.
alkaline resistant, because
Okay.
it has to be compatible with the thin set mortar. This
Yeah.
is the surface I'm going to be making my mosaic on, but it's not finished yet, which is probably a good thing for people who are looking, because you can see this is a washer, a
Yeah.
screw on the back are D rings, right?
Right.
Hang. Now this has to be the screw sticks outs need to be cut off with a Dremel, which is a small power
Oh,
tool. Now,
yep.
to finish this substrate, I would need to make more thin set mortar, put a thin coating on with a trowel, and then
Yeah.
another layer of the mesh. You let it cure, and when I'm all done with the mosaic, I put thin set mortar on the whole
Yep.
thing, and then I take my mosaic and I flip it over. I have the back of the mosaic. Then I
Yeah.
put this down on top of that mosaic, on top of the
Yeah.
glass. I have to have a board underneath, although there was a time I forgot.
Oh
Uh,
no.
yeah,
Mhm.
so
Yeah.
never again, right?
Yeah. You do
But
it
you don't,
once, right?
right, right, right. So
Yeah.
that's, yeah, you don't, after that happens once, you don't forget, flip it over.
Yep.
And then I have that top sheet of the
That is
sticky.
so, Miriam, that was so, like, that was a gift to show us that bit because I think that, like, in a beginner space, that glass mosaic, I think, can be a little intimidating because it's precision. It's, you're talking mortar, grout, trowel, like all kinds of kind of like set up
Right.
and get going kind of stuff. But for those of us who enjoy, like my community, right, friends, back me up on this. We are crafty, but we're also builders. Like we don't mind the process of having to build the substrate or build the armature or
Mhm.
build the cone filled with foam, like we're not going to turn away and go for the 5-minute craft. And so just seeing the way that, because you could start with a little smaller one, right? Like yours looked to be like what, 14 by 14, but a beginner could do a 5 by 7 or a 4 by 6, and just get a taste.
Sure, you could.
Yeah.
You can
Yeah.
cut, and well, I haven't done this. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know. I just, maybe I'll do it someday. I don't know. It's not, I don't really think about it. You could take that form and make it curved. Like some people will
Right.
make that into like a material shape, like a
Yep.
dress, a piece of material, and then they mosaic directly with thin set, tinted thin set, all these little pieces. Like so
Mm-hmm.
it's like a material.
I love that. That's so, I mean, Miriam, I don't need one more thing. I don't need one more thing, but I want to do this now because this sounds great. I
Right.
mean, and maybe, just maybe, oh my gosh, what about this? If I can get my traffic cone foam thing to
Mhm.
work, I might have an evergreen tree of brooches and beads, and I might have another one of glass.
Of
Oh,
glass.
oh my God, that would be so awesome. I could like stick them in like little shingles almost, like all
Coming
the way
out.
around. No,
Right.
glass. Like,
Well, oh, glass, but then you would be have to be very careful. You don't want someone to touch that.
oh yeah, it'll be high on a shelf. It'll be like high on a fireplace. No touchy, just looky.
Oh,
Because
I
I
see.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah. So I
Okay.
did show in my last episode, I am working on another evergreen tree. I don't know if you can see it back here. Um, this will come as no surprise to the people who know me, but I just wanted to show my progress, oops, from last week. It is a tree made
Oh,
out of a tomato cage. And it's
oh,
so big, I can't even lift it up. But it's going to be amazing when it's done. And I mean, for those of you familiar with my warp speed project and all of those paper tubes, it's got nothing on this tree. I have filled up a big bucket 3 or 4 times now. And I cannot wait to teach people how to make this. It has been so awesome. I wish I could get it up higher for you to see. Maybe if I went this way instead. I mean, she's a beast. Look at her.
Oh, are those rolled up pieces of magazine?
Yeah.
Then what do you seal it with?
Hot glue. So I have a workstation where I'm going to use a chopstick.
Oh,
Magazines already out of their binding. I have my hot glue gun set up, and I just roll and roll and roll, and I throw them in a bucket so that they are ready for assembly. And then here on my tomato cage, I had to take wire and wire the in-betweens so that I could get a whole nother layer of this tree. So now, I didn't need to use the largest tomato cage, but it's what I had out in the machine shop, so I grabbed it. And then I had to do something here at the top to make sure it wouldn't, because they spring open so they can go into the ground. So I have a
oh.
macrame ring, a metal one, that's just holding it right now. So it's a little DIY and a little untested, and some of them more like I don't want the whole thing to like spring open. But it is my goal to get this thing done. But it's taken me a really long time. But I'm absolutely obsessed. I just love it. That's a Joleen project, right, friends? A million little pieces, and it takes a million hours to get it done.
I want to see it when it's done.
Oh, I will be so proud that I will definitely share. So and you know what? I want to get it done soonish, right? Like one of the things that we talk a lot about here at Happy Time is unfinished projects. So which camp, Miriam, are you in? Do you also have unfinished projects?
I have one unfinished project. It's funny because I'm a part of a Facebook group called Mosaic Mentoring, and
Okay.
to me, it's the best one. I'm not really big on a lot of the groups,
Yeah.
and it's started by a woman by the name of Karen Sassine, who's a wonderful mosaic artist, and she also
Hmm.
sells tints, and she offers technical advice. And that's really big on the site, is doing things correctly so that,
Mm,
especially if you're working with projects that are going to be outside, you want to
yeah.
use the right adhesive, the right
Yep.
substrate. You don't want your things falling apart.
Yep. Definitely.
So, and
That's her.
also safety. Yeah.
Hmm.
But so wait, so where was, so so I was thinking, I should
Unfinished.
do a post. What is your unfinished project? Here's mine. I've never done that, but mine is something I started my first mosaic class. I guess I could reach it. Let me see.
Ooh.
It's a mug, and I can get it.
I'm kind of impressed that you only have one. I'm a little bit jealous. I have about
Okay, it's very
50.
dusty. Oh, I'm so embarrassed how dusty it is.
Oh,
I
we
have
won't
these
be able to tell.
open, I have these open IKEA shelves. They're
Yes,
made
me too.
to be put in a garage. I don't know if they make them anymore. They're these heavy duty metal shelves, and they
Oh,
just go into the studs of the wall.
yeah. Yeah. Yep.
So we have them for everything. Well, it's great. Oh, open shelving. Well, that stuff gets so dusty.
Right.
I did a major dusting. That was in 2017. There's okay, so I call this face mug.
Oh
And
my
what
God,
I
I
did
love it.
is I had all these old black and white pictures. Most of them were prints, but some of them were these printed postcards. But they had to be the size of that glass gem. I know I said I was going to talk about glass
Yeah.
gems. I said I want to cover the whole thing with faces, good faces of children. I think there's a
I love this.
I know, but why did I finish it? Because then I have to have more of those black and white faces. So
And
they're all,
gems.
yeah, all people that I photographed.
So will this be dishwasher or washable?
No, no, no. Oh, no, you're not
Okay.
going to want to drink out of this
Oh,
because
okay.
it's
It's
like,
more to look at. Okay.
yeah, but I never finished it. It was like, it's from a long, long time ago.
Oh my gosh, Miriam, I'm inspired though. Like I could
Glass
see that
gems.
on a pot, like on a planter, or so cute
This is alcohol ink with just
under
some.
one of those gems.
Yes. Now, the thing about alcohol ink is like, I don't really understand. From a class I took on tempered glass mosaic, she uses alcohol ink, but she says
Yeah.
put paint on your substrate behind it because eventually it will fade. Now, I've
Yep.
been doing a test. I had one by the window, and wow, in the summer sun by my studio window,
Mhm.
it did fade. But then I
Yep.
have another one in another project where I don't let the sun hit it, and it's
Right.
fine. So I
Mhm.
think I mean, I don't know what you've learned from alcohol ink. I mean, why do they make the stuff that is then going to fade? Because don't people use that on papers?
Yeah, we use it, but it definitely needs to be sealed, and it has to be sealed with a non-alcohol reactive sealant. So, I mean, I would imagine like the sealing also prevents the fading, but the tricky part is getting, you don't want to, so a lot of folks end up covering it with resin, which is also caustic, and you got to be super careful with that. But there are some non-reactive sealants, like a Krylar will seal it, so
Hmm.
that it doesn't fade or it doesn't chip away. But I love alcohol ink when you get your process refined and it does, and you don't lose it, and under those
Hmm.
baubles, man, that's awesome. Miriam, I'm going to make something with baubles and tag ya.
And do you have the nice thing about using glass gems? If you're just starting out Mosaic, you can find them in bags at the dollar store.
Oh,
Now it's
nice.
a $1.25 store.
Right. But still, you can find them. I love
Right,
that.
and the nice thing is they come in different colors. So this one I'm holding up to the
Yeah.
camera is gold, and then I backed it with some silver
Yeah.
foil. I haven't done this yet, but I do have a wrapper. Maybe some vitamins came in this.
Oh,
A
sure.
little gold wrapper. I can put that on the back of a clear one. I've taken, well, from art school, this is decades ago. I did a bookbinding class. I love
Yeah.
bookbinding. How to marbleize paper. So I
Yep.
still have all those papers. So I put marbleized paper,
On the
back,
gem.
backed a green gem, and then I'm
Oh
going to show
my
you a thin
gosh.
set. Now, the thing about thin set is it is
Love it.
pricey. You buy a big bag of thin set, and you want to
Oh,
get the right kind of. If you're not going to be working with thin set, don't go out and buy like a
right.
$35, $40 bag of thin set that it will last 2 years. But if you're working with thin set and you're using it to do mosaics, and you can tint it,
That's
and
so
then you put it,
cool.
it's on the back, and then I can just use this in almost any kind of mosaic. Oh, they also have frosted for
Yeah.
a different look. A frosted glass gem in the back is tinted purple thin
I
set. Yeah.
Miriam, I already have enough projects. Like now I got to do something with these baubles.
Can I mention another kind of adhesive?
Yes, of
You're
course.
gonna love this. This you're gonna
Yeah.
love. Okay, maybe
Yeah.
you know about this already. Epoxy clay, epoxy sculpt. You don't.
Okay, say more. I don't think I
Made
do.
by, I hope I'm pronouncing this correctly, Aves or Aves,
Okay.
AVES. They're in Wisconsin. They're not that probably far from you because in the northwestern part of the state. And
Okay.
not only is it an adhesive where you can embed, in fact, that's what I used on that mosaic with all the pieces
Yeah.
of jewelry. And
Yeah.
it's nice and thick and firm and it's not messy. Now you do want to use a
Interesting.
little bit of ventilation. It's a
Yeah.
two-part adhesive. It comes in these tubs. Oh, I
Oh,
have
I
some in
love
here.
that. Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Epoxy clay. We're going to
Yeah.
link that in the show notes. And I'm going to
Okay.
reach out to them if they're in Wisconsin.
Okay. Now,
Okay.
mosaic artists use it, but it's um, a lot of people who are not mosaic artists
Mhm.
use it, and they use it in model making. Like they'll make little figurines or swords. I think it
Sure.
might even be used in the movie industry. Now, I was working on a mosaic butterfly, a metal marked butterfly, which is
Mhm.
common in Wisconsin. I said, okay, how am I going to do this antenna? I don't want them to be cartoonish. I want them to
Right.
honor the form of that
Right.
butterfly and be as natural looking as
Right.
possible. I don't want, say, like a piece of wire. So I
Yeah.
don't know how I need something thin. I thought, well, am I going to sculpt it out of the
Mhm.
epoxy clay? But I didn't like it. But so when
Yeah.
I came up, I thought, oh, wait, what about wood skewers?
Oh, yeah.
So do you see the tip of that?
Yes.
The tip, I don't know if it's focusing
It
well.
is. It's perfect.
Okay, so those tips are from the epoxy clay. I just
Okay.
formed it. I added it to the skewers, and it takes like a full, well, not a full cure, but it hardens in like 2, 3 hours.
That's
Then maybe the
awesome.
next day I painted it. Now I don't know why I use oil paints, but I thought
I
the thing
love
about
those though.
epoxy clay, you can paint it, and people
Yeah.
add mica powders to it.
Yep. Yep. You're
And
speaking our
people will
language.
also, I haven't had much success, but I haven't really tried that much because I tried
Mhm.
doing with black adding black paint. People say, oh, it's very hard to make it black. I painted it afterwards. So I painted with oil, black, and then I added white for the bands. And then I use a substrate called Go Board, which is used in the tile industry, and that just fits in.
Love it.
To the top of the mosaic. I did not
Yeah.
want to stick those in because I thought, well, what happens if
Right, of course, but they're
gets,
so perfect.
thank you.
Oh, they're awesome.
So
What a
epoxy
great idea.
clay,
Okay.
and they have videos and they have featured
Yeah,
artists,
we
and it's
will find them, Miriam. Thank you. That's a great tip. And the Crafty Time community, Happy Time, we love supplies, don't we, friends? We like knowing about them, finding them, using them, collecting them, organizing them, and eventually using them for sure. So, Miriam, you're probably not going to believe this, but we are almost out of time. It went so fast.
it did
Thank
go
you so
fast.
much for being here. And
Thank
we
you.
end our show in the same way by asking our guests 10 questions, and it just gives us a chance to get to know you even a little bit better. You can give one-word answers or you can elaborate, and hopefully the questions aren't too hard. The
Okay.
first one is, Miriam, what's your favorite word?
Well, I was just thinking about this yesterday. What is my favorite word? I
Yeah.
wanted to think of something positive. It's a word that I made up. It's cutin, and I used to describe, say, like a cute little bird. It's a cutin.
Oh, I love it.
The origin is when I was in art school, I had these two friends. I was studying graphic design. They were studying illustration, and they had this professor, and he was this little old man. His name was Eisenstadt. So they started to call him Cutinstat, which I thought.
Oh,
So then I guess that's where I got the word cutin from.
I love it, and I'm going to use it because I think that's amazing.
Okay.
So I talk a lot about my favorite food, and my favorite food is toast, and not just any toast, but like I kind of like elaborate toasts. So Miriam, do you have a favorite kind of sandwich?
Yes, we do. I only make it
Okay.
about once a year. It's caramelized onions first, a
Yes.
lot of caramelized onions.
Yes.
And then it's tempeh. Do you know what tempeh
Yep.
is? Oh,
Yep.
you do? Okay.
Yep.
Wow. Okay, so I take the
Married to a
tempeh,
chef. So yep.
right, and then I slice it down so it's not too thin, not too thick, and then I saute it in olive oil. Then I will add a mixture of tamari, water, and cider vinegar, so it's sort of it plumps up. Otherwise, it'd be incredibly dry. Add the caramelized onions to it, and then we only eat this in the summer when our tomatoes are ripe, because
Yes.
we live in the city of Milwaukee, but we're fortunate that we have a large backyard. My
Yeah, the
husband's
garden.
responsible, yes, and he does the gardening, because once you start growing your own tomatoes,
Oh yeah, it
you,
changes everything. Yeah. Oh
right.
yeah.
Okay, so that,
So
and then the condiment for me is veganaise, which is an
yes,
alternative to,
to mayonnaise.
yeah,
So what kind of bread? Let's just back up to like
would
that
be
seems
it would be whole wheat bread.
a whole wheat bread.
Yeah.
Okay, you win the day with that one. That sounds amazing. We made one this past weekend. Okay, just hear me out. It was almost like it was more like a pancake. We took cabbage and then like a pancake mix, kind of, and mixed it with the cabbage. And then Darren put it on the flat top, and then put on like more cabbage and bacon, and then took it off the stone, and then put on tuna flakes, like a kind of like a ketchup-y barbecue sauce, and mayonnaise. And it
Well,
was amazing.
savory pancakes are a thing in Asian cuisine.
Yes, it
Yeah.
was so good. I was so good that I was like, okay, it was the cabbage that I was like, and I like cabbage, but it just, anyway, I'm a believer. It was amazing. Loved it, loved it, loved it, loved it. Okay, what about this one? What does being an artist mean to you?
Um, I guess just always trying new things and pushing myself with
Mhm,
challenges. And once I feel I've mastered something, okay, what's next? And if
mhm.
I give myself a challenge, even if there's a time where I was like, I don't know what I'm doing with this, and I have to walk away and then
Yeah,
look at it again. And then once I finish this, like, wow, I wasn't, you know, I, I learned this.
right,
At first I
right.
wasn't sure how it was going to come out. And my mind was like maybe blank and everything. I might well, when I'm working on that with the indirect technique, when I'm putting
Mhm.
pieces down, sometimes I'll put stuff down, I'll take a picture. I was like, this doesn't look good at all. And where am I
Mhm.
going with this? Sometimes my daughter's in college and I'll send her a picture. She'll get, what do you like? 1, 2, or
Yeah.
3. And then she gives me, and
I do that too.
yeah.
I send
Oh,
pictures to my daughter, and she's been dabbling in watercolor, and I'm so proud of her. My friend Lacey published a book last year called Learn to Watercolor, and so I gave my daughter a copy, and so she's been going through Lacey's exercises and then sending me photos, and I mean, I don't care what they look like. I'm so proud of her for, entering in and trying and practicing, and I think having this interest in common is just so great. I love that we can talk about this stuff. Love it.
that's
I would
exciting.
imagine you and your child feel the same.
I think she's a gifted artist in everything she does. She does these beautiful cards for Mother's and Father's Day and
Oh,
birthday cards. Or she goes to school out of state. So when she's
mhm.
on the plane, she does these very intricate drawings, and I would suggest to her, and no, but she wants to do something practical. So
Right. Oh, I love that. Kind of like my son's little piece of art here. Like, it's precious to me. I will
Mhm.
keep it forever. Okay, one more. What about this? So, Miriam, what brings you the most happiness?
Many things, but I think performing improv comedy in front of a live audience is really thrilling. I'm just in the moment. I'm not thinking about the
Wow.
past or the future, and it's almost like an out of body experience.
I would imagine you'd have to be so brave.
Well, you just get used to it, and there's a thing we say before we go on stage is, I've got your back, I've got your
Yeah.
back. So everyone supports everyone else. And
Yeah.
once you're out there, you sort of forget about the audience. You're just in the
Sure.
moment, and that's it. You're in the moment.
That's amazing. I love that for you, and I think that for those of us listening, my takeaway from what you just said is sometimes happiness is right in the moment, right? Whatever those moments may be. And Miriam, I'm so glad you were our guest today. Thank you for what you shared and what you taught us and where you've led us. I will be sure to link all of that in our show notes. Make sure folks can find you and your work. So
Okay.
thank you. Thank you so much for being here. And for those of you listening, I hope you'll join me next time. McKenna Kornowski is my guest on the 12th of November. And McKenna is a mixed media painter who lives in a little greenhouse on 14 acres, also in Wisconsin.
Oh,
And she draws endless inspiration from the natural world and her chickens and her farm. And she will be with me to talk about mixed media painting, and that's going to be on Wednesday, November 12th. So thank you so much for joining me again, Miriam. And for those of you listening, you stay as happy as possible, and we will see you next week. Thanks so
okay.
much, everybody. Yep,
Pleasure. Thank
bye-bye.
you. Bye.